Hey everybody, happy Wednesday evening live tutorial stream. Hope everyone is doing well wherever you are out there today. Lori is apparently having yummy dinner, which is not surprising to anyone who's a regular on this stream. Whatever she's making sounds amazing. Garlic chicken and bacon stuffed pasta with garlic Alfredo sauce. Once again, see y'all. I'm headed to Canada. I'll be back at some point, but probably not. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Ace. So today's project is this is a repeat. This is one that I colossally screwed up the last time I tried to teach it online because I had a huge blonde moment right before the stream and I literally forgot how to do the project. And so this is our project for today. This is our macrame cabochon necklace. So this is a fun way to set a cabochon, and I did not, oh hey look, there's a Heather cam and there's nobody there because there's not a Heather there on the, because it's the tutorial stream. But also I did not fix anything regarding exposure or focus on my hand cam, so we're gonna have just a moment of producing on the stream for the moment. But yeah, this is a fun, hi Tracy, welcome to the stream. This is a fun way to set a cabochon if you're not into soldering and you're not into necessarily wire wrapping either. This is a fun way to set a cabochon using macrame. And cabochon, of course, is the term for a stone or anything. It can be glass. There can be glass cabochons as well, but anything that is basically flat on the back and domed on the top and has no hole. So this is a rainbow obsidian cabochon, and you can see it's got no hole. There's no way to there's no way to hang it except for setting it in some fashion, whether that be with wire, whether that be with soldering, or whether that be with macrame like we're doing today. So let's talk tools and supplies for this evening's tutorial. All right, you are going to need a cabochon of whatever size you want. Mine's about 1.5 inches long and it is an oval. So, you know, you can set all different sizes of cabochons using this technique. So, you know, anything about, you know, I would say the size of $50 or a little bit bigger is going to work great. For this, you're going to need some macrame cord. This is what we call Chinese knotting cord, which is a poly nylon blended cord. I love the Chinese knotting cord because you can melt it to finish it, and so that's super helpful. As far as length goes, you're going to need double the length of whatever you want your necklace length to be. So I'm going to go for 16 inches today, so that means I need 32 inches of macrame cord for my core, and then I'm going to need about 3 to 4 feet additional for my actual knotting. So the way that this is constructed is this cord that forms the knots here is actually separate from your two core cords. So you got two cores here, and then you got your knotting cord that moves in between the two of them. You're going to need one bead that is big enough to accommodate 4 thicknesses of your cord. So I have this lemon quartz bead that I'm going to be using today that has a nice big hole. And then you're going to need a few findings to actually make your cord piece into a necklace. You're going to need 2 fold over cord ends, which are these here. And we'll talk about how to use those when it comes time. You're going to need a clasp. For me, that's going to be my lobster claw and my split ring. And then I'm going to need 2 jump rings to attach my clasp to my cord ends. As far as tools go, you're going to probably, that's right. You're going to want a macrame board. If you don't have a macrame board, you can totally cheat by just kind of tying your cord onto something, sinking a hook into some sort of furniture that you don't particularly like, or tying it onto a stable object. But the macrame boards are really nice. This is what the front of it looks like, because they're easy to travel with, and so they're easy to kind of take your projects wherever you want to. You're going to need fire of some form. In my case, that's just a big lighter. And you're going to need 2 pairs of chain nose pliers, that's just for your jump rings, so those are the flat ones. And you're going to need some kind of cutting implement, sharp scissors or a wire cutter. So let's start with my macrame cord. So like I said, I'm going to do a 16-inch necklace. I need double that in 2 pieces. So I basically need 32 inches in 2 pieces, or 2 16-inch pieces of my cording. So I'm going to cut 2 16-inch pieces of my cording. And you can absolutely cut yourself a little bit of extra if you want, and just chop it off at the end. As with most projects, better too much than not enough. Alright, so I've got 2 16-inch pieces of cording, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find the middle of them, and I'm just going to set that up on my macrame board someplace where I'm gonna know where it is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go for like the 4 here. So I'm gonna set my 2 pieces of cord up so that the center is on my macrame board, and I'm gonna separate these out like so on the top, and again on the bottom, so that my cords are separated by about a 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to take my other piece of cord, the cord with which I'm going to be macraming. Like I said, I want this to be about 3 feet or so, maybe a little bit more. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a prop to prop up my macrame board so that it's in focus. Single prop is insufficient. Need another prop. There's so many things in my work area. It's like you would think finding an additional prop would not be difficult. There we go.
Sorry.
For what?
Hitting the...
Oh, how dare you. Heather hit the backdrop, y'all.
I did.
Yeah, she's fired, but not really.
But I could be.
Maybe.
I could go visit Lori and have cold.
And have cold and chicken.
I
The chicken, not so much your cup of tea.
I don't think I'm going to get there in time for chicken.
I'm pretty sure at Lori's you can always get there in time for chicken. Just saying.
That is
like
totally...
I feel like at Lori's there will always be chicken, but the problem, of course, being that Heather is a vegetarian, so chicken not really her jam. That being said, I'm sure that Lori could cook up something delicious and vegetarian as well. Okay, so now we're going to... Still not tall enough. What the what? Oh, that's gonna be bad if that does the thing. See, and now it's, of course, it's too close. I think I can zoom out. Okay, so we've got our 2 cores, and once I zoom out, you'll be able to see them a little bit better, because right now they are super duper close to the camera. Of course, zooming out requires the mouse to actually function, so there's that. Okay, there you go. Now you can actually see them. They're not like just right up on the camera. Okay, so I've got my 2 cores that are set up on my macrame board. Now I've got my 3-foot long piece that's going to be the cord with which I'm going to macrame. And I'm just going to start by taking a short end of that cord and just tying it onto one of my cores. And it's really important when you are doing this that these cores are taut in your macrame board. So if your macrame board is stretched out like mine often is, you know, you can always move over to one of the side sections that's going to hold your cord a little bit tighter. But I'm going to start by just tying that cord right onto there. Okay, so now what we're basically going to do is we're going to do a half hitch around, not a half hitch, sorry, a lark's head around this cord, but we're doing it typically when one does a lark's head. A lark's head is a knot that most people actually know. You just oftentimes don't know what it's called. It's the knot where you take a piece of string, fold it in half, and then hook it around something, in this case my finger, and pull the two ends through, and that is a lark's head knot. Okay, so that's something that most of us know how to do, but it gets a little bit more complicated when you're trying to do it with only one end of cord instead of your typical two. So, and this is where I completely fell flat on my face last time I tried to teach this tutorial, because I, like I said, had a total blonde moment and forgot how to do the stitch or do the knot right before I got on stream. So then I was on stream struggling to figure out how to do the knot. Did actually figure it out by the end of the tutorial, but of course by then it was way late. So this is not the case tonight, we are hoping. I checked with my brain before the tutorial, and I think I remember how to do this, so here we go. So you're going to take that cord, and the way it goes is like so. So that cord, that working cord, is going to go over your core cord on the right, under and up through the loop. So over, under, through. Pull it all the way through and snug it up to your beginning knot. That's half of your lark's head. Then the other half is formed by taking that same cord and going under, over, through. So under your core, mine decided to form a nice little knot all by itself, which was not called for. So under and then over, through. And that is our, go ahead and tighten that up. So that is our lark's head knot formed with just one cord. Now we're going to switch to the other cord. So again, over, under, sorry, I keep bumping my camera because it's really close. Over, under, through. And when you go through, make sure you take it straight through. It's tempting to go through and kind of go this way, and that's not going to give you what you want. So over, under, through, again, has to go across, and then under. Make sure you preserve a loop there so that you can go then over and through. So over, under, through, under, over, through, and that is really all there is to it. But of course it took me, you know, the entirety of one stream last time to figure that out. So this is what you should be seeing. You should be seeing a lark's head and then a diagonal and then a lark's head, and now we're going to do another diagonal as we go with, now back to the right hand core cord, over. So this is my over, under, through. And again, when you're tightening, make sure you pull across, like so, and then under. Make sure you keep that loop out so you can go under, over, through. Oh, Lori is plotting ways to lure my Heather away. It's not nice. Okay, there we go. So now I've got 3 lark's heads, and I'm going to continue on with my 4th one. And I'm actually going to take just a second, and I'm going to move this up a bit and zoom back in so that I can actually do this without completely smashing. There we go. Yeah, smashing the camera every single time with my hands. Okay, so I'm on my left hand cord. So again, over, under, through, and so just pull all the way through. I didn't, Barbara, thank you. And then under, over, through. So you can use various different, Barbara asked a really good question. Did I tell you all what diameter the cord was? And I actually absolutely did not. I was just so thrilled with myself that I remembered the technique that I forgot to talk about the diameter of the cord. So this is about a 1.5 millimeter macrame cord. This sample is more like a 1 millimeter macrame cord. So it's really more about just the size and the thickness of your cabochon. So the cabochon that I'm using tonight is a little bit chunkier. So I think it's going to work well with the 1.5, but this basically, the smaller your cabochon is, the smaller your cord should be. The bigger your cabochon is, the bigger your cord should be. So what I'm using tonight is 1.5. What's on my sample is a 1 millimeter. So again, over and then under, and just grab it, pull it through, and then under. Make sure you keep that loop out so you can go over and through. And there is another lark's head. And you want to try your best to keep a consistent thickness, or not thickness, width is the word that I'm looking for, not thickness. A consistent width between these two cords. And so, you know, just make sure that you're not kind of narrowing this in too much as you're doing this. So again, over, under, through, and then under, over, through. See, this is what I was just talking about. Okay, don't pull it in too tight. This is where having a macrame board that's not completely stretched out is helpful. All right, and then under, over, through. And then just tighten that up. So you just put your finger on that knot, kind of shove it up and shimmy it, and that's a good way to tighten it without pulling everything together. So again, over, and if it's easier to understand, I can go all the way to the end of the cord. So over, under, and through to me means through that loop that I've just created. And then under, again, make sure you hold that loop out, and back over this cord and through that loop. And that makes your lark's head. Hold that in place. Give it a nice little enthusiastic shimmy to tighten it. All right. And there we go. So now we're just going to continue this onward until I have created enough knot work to go all the way around my cabochon. Hi, Sophia. Wait, what did you did?
An enthusiastic shimmy.
Oh, Heather didn't. Got it. Heather didn't. But you weren't on camera. Does it even count if you're not on camera?
I knew I did it.
Well, that's fine, but I don't know you did it. I can't see you. I'm just taking your word for it.
Why would I say I did it?
I don't know. Some people say they shimmied when they didn't shimmy.
I would never.
Okay. So we're all taking Heather's word that she did in fact do an enthusiastic shimmy, even though I didn't see her do it. Neither did any of you. So it's an honor system shimmy apparently that we have going on here at the Beading Dreams. So while I'm continuing to knot this so that I have enough length to go around my cabochon, I'm going to talk a minute about what's coming up next on the Beading Dream stream. Of course, it's Wednesday and we are back to our normal streaming schedule. That means that we are, after this tutorial, going to have a live merchandise sale, and that is going to commence right around 7:30 p.m. here on the Beading Dreams stream, and we do still have new merchandise that we are featuring on that sale stream, and we're going to be featuring new merchandise for quite a while because we have rather a lot of it. So there's going to be some of the things that you saw if you watched our unbinning last Wednesday. We have those things priced and ready to go, so there will definitely be some of the merchandise that you saw in the unbinning, but we also have a trunk show in-house that was not part of the unbinning, so there will be some completely new merchandise for y'all, and that's going to be 8-inch strands, and anybody who has hung out on our 8-inch strand sales before knows that the prices on those are usually pretty good for a bracelet length of beads. So what I'm saying is don't miss our 7:30 stream. And of course, we all know that our sales streams tend to get silly and rowdy and, you know, lots of fun. Also, I'm significantly better rested than I was last Saturday, so I should be able to, you know, remain awake for this entire sales stream and in my proper position, though it was quite fun for anybody who wasn't on Saturday's sales stream. Heather and I switched places, and Heather, poor Heather, has been now dealing with my terrible handwriting whilst trying to interpret and collate everything from Saturday's sale, and I don't know that she's ever going to allow me to do that again because yeah, like I said on the stream, penmanship is one of the pretty much the only class in my entire academic life I ever got C's in was penmanship. So yeah, not the best with the handwriting. Though she didn't take my name in vain too many times today, which is definitely surprising. Okay, so I did that wrong. So how do I know that I did this wrong? Okay, so what should happen each time I've done... Oh, I did that one wrong too. Okay, so I've got 2 wrongs, which do not make a right. They're just 2 wrongs. So what I should have is I should have a loop of cord going over my 2 cords that are coming out, and in each of these I've got my loop going under one and over the other. So that means that I screwed up my sequence. My under, over, do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around sequence. So we're just going to go ahead and undo those 2. And just go back. So when you screw up in macrame, your best bet, if you can get your knots out, is to just go back up to the last part that's right. Okay, so just take out the wrong bits. All of you wrong bits are going away. Goodbye, wrong bits. And then we're just gonna start over from the last place that was correct. And since this keeps slipping out of my macrame board while I'm at it, I'm just going to move it to a different spot that may be a little bit more secure. Okay, so I've backed this up to the last place that was right, which is this one here, and now we're gonna endeavor to not screw this up again. So over, under, through, and make sure pull all the way through. And then under, and over, through. I'm going to blame the fact that I was talking to you all and not paying attention, but look, that's much better. See, that's what we want to see. And then we're going to do the same on the other side, over, under, through, under, over, through. So hopefully my momentary lapse is over, and we're just going to continue macrameing until I have enough to go around my cabochon. And I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to move this down in front of me off camera because I can, it's really awkward keeping it up there so the camera can see it. I can go so much faster if I am actually down here at a comfortable angle for myself. So this is going to be like the cooking shows where it's like all of a sudden magically, ta-da, a fully cooked meal comes out of the oven. It's like magic. Not exactly, but I'm just going to keep going until I've got enough macrame to go around my cabochon. So like I was saying before, when I got distracted and screwed everything up, we are having a live sales stream at 7:30 with new merchandise, 8-inch strands and 16-inch strands. Well, hey Corvus, how's it going? I'm not gonna ask about your weather right now because our weather in Dallas today was very pretty, but it's supposed to get nasty tomorrow night. It was rainy today, actually. It was warm, but it was rainy, so I guess that doesn't really count as pretty, but it's not cold, so there's that. But that is all set to change in the next 24 hours. This time tomorrow, it's supposed to be dipping down into the 30s. Yuck. So I'm continuing to macrame. And again, talking about live sales stream at 7:30 with new merchandise. Let's see, we've got a fun tutorial for you tomorrow if you want to join us in the lunchtime stream. We are going to do this ring. This is our dainty wire ring, and that's going to be our lunchtime tutorial stream. And then, of course, it is Torch Thursday tomorrow night, so we'll be doing a fun torch tutorial. Oh, Corvus is blaming me. I mean, you're to blame for my resin obsession, Corvus, so really, turnabout is fair play, I guess. So, what did you do to your hair exactly? Share. Or you can just show us on Zoom on Friday. Sometimes a Zoom is worth 1,000 words or something like that. Yes, one of my more elderly neighbors saw me this morning. She was like, "Oh, do you have Mardi Gras hair?" I'm like, "Sure. That's what I have. Totally Mardi Gras hair." Yay, Corvus! What color are you gonna do? Or colors? See, I was lazy. I went with one color. Much as I would love to do like the full-on like mermaid oil slick thing, like I do not have the patience for that. So Uno color is all I got. But for people who are more patient than me, I'm interested to know what colors you are doing. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment and I'm just going to do a little check to see how much more I have to go, because the macrame is a little bit kind of expandable. Also, I'm going to assume that people are taking notes but not necessarily following along, and I'm going to admit that I screwed up at the beginning of this tutorial. Okay, you want to cut your cord longer than the length of your necklace because, hello, you need your cords to go around your actual stone. So you need to cut the length of the necklace that you want plus the circumference of your stone, which I did not do. So I'm going to have a very, very short necklace. But once again, since I'm guessing that everyone is just taking notes and not following along, you can change your notes so that you do not suffer because of my screw up. So once again, when you're cutting your cord, you want to cut the length of your necklace plus the circumference or the length around your cabochon. Okay, this is important because I'm going to wind up with a necklace that's not going to fit a human person, which is fine for demonstration purposes, but for actual like wearing purposes, you probably do want it to go around your neck. So make sure you make that change in your notes, anybody who's taking notes. Now, as far as my progress on this, I'm getting there. I've got probably about another 5/8 of an inch to go. So I'm going to put it back on my macrame board and I'm just going to keep going. I don't think Heather's ever going to do color hair, Corvus. I don't think we're ever going to get her on that bandwagon. But her hair's so dadgum pretty. Really can't be mad at her for it. It's annoying, but understandable. She's got that beautiful pre-Raphaelite hair. Lady of Shalott and all of that. Which mine would never, it won't grow. The thing about my hair is so I'm going to continue macrame while I'm talking about hair. God, my hair is so fine that it starts to just die under its own weight when it gets past my shoulders. So I will never have the beautiful pre-Raphaelite hair that Heather has, because my hair just don't do that. And that's fine, because, you know, it takes all kinds of hair to make the world go round. I'm just gonna...
Allison's hair is amazing.
I think Heather's hair is amazing, and we really need to figure out how to, like, trade hair at some point. Corvus says you should consider just the tip. It's also interesting because, of course, anybody who's ever dealt with like the bright color hairs knows that they're all the dyes are technically semi-permanent. They don't really stay permanently, and so it's also kind of interesting to watch the colors evolve as you wash your hair. And then since my hair is so incredibly bleached, like, I'm getting color transfer as well. So I've got some green hairs right here, like that one right there is this really light kind of aquamarine green. So I'm getting, you know, color transfer as well as I'm washing my hair. So it's interesting how that all works. Yay, chemicals. I did that wrong. It's my last one, and I did it wrong. Really. Over, under, through, under, over, through. Okay, so this should be enough to go around my cabochon. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back on my prop so that it's in focus, and then I'm just going to tie off my string that I've been macrameing to my core cord, and I'm just going to go around and through. And apparently, yes, I'm going to bash my camera again because that's how I do. So I'm going to tie that off, and then I'm going to trim it. Now, when you're trimming, make sure that you're trimming the cord you were knotting with, which is this one. And then this is one of the reasons that I love the Chinese knotting cord. Is the best way and the easiest way to finish it is to just take your lighter and just melt it down, and then just smash it against that loop there, and that gives you a nice, clean, and fairly permanent finish. Now I'm going to take, I know I've got 17,000 props going on here. I'm going to take my cabochon, and I'm going to wrap my macrame around my cabochon, and lo and behold, it does in fact fit. Now, if you have an oval cabochon, you do want to, you know, set it so that your meeting point is, of course, right at the top of your oval. Now I'm going to take my, and couple of things. First of all, this is my beginning cord. I'm done with that, so I'm going to cut that and burn it just like I did with the one that I just finished. I'm just going to melt that, And then smash that down. Yes, it's a little scarf for the stone, it's true. Keep the stone nice and warm. Okay, and then once again, make sure you cut enough cord for your necklace length plus going around your cabochon. Okay, I just cut my necklace length, and once again, I've got a really short necklace going on here, so don't make the same mistake that I did. I'm going to take my bead, and this is a bead that is big enough to fit 4 thicknesses of my cord through it, and I'm going to go ahead and string all 4 thicknesses of my cord through my bead. That's 3, and my 4th one goes through, maybe, come on. This is one of those times where I really, really wish that I had a 3rd hand that would just extend from my stomach, or possibly a prehensile tail, because I need a hand to hold this taut, I need a hand to hold this, and I need a hand to feed these through. And of course that's one fewer hands than most of us come equipped with. Now, Lori made a good point of, okay, if you're in this situation and you're like, oh crap, I screwed up, could you make a bail and then attach this to a chain or a cord? And you absolutely could. Both, you know, just by the dint of being simple and making a loop and tying an overhand knot, or you could even see, now you've got, anybody who's familiar with macrame, you've got a perfect setup here for a square knot. So you could square knot macrame a piece, you know, and then flip that over and make that the bail as well. So yes, if you find yourself in the same oh crap situation that I am currently in, you absolutely could pivot and turn this into a pendant instead of a necklace. I'm just going to go ahead and show you all the necklace finish, and then we're going to, you know, consign this to you know, the class samples gone wrong case. So I'm going to tie an overhand knot to keep this bead down.
We do not have a whole case.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Alright, I'm just going to tie an overhand knot, so that's just around and through. And tighten that down right up against that bead. And that's important, okay? It is important that this bead be tight up against this knotwork here, because that's what's holding everything tight and secure. That's what's holding your cabochon in. If this bead is not snug tight down to your macrame, your bead, or your cabochon, excuse me, could easily fall out. So you do want to make sure that that knot winds up right against your bead. And then what we're going to do, if we are going to make this into a necklace, is we're going to separate these 2 sets of cords. So I've got 2 on either side. I want to make sure that they are the same length, which in my case is like 4 inches at this point. So once again, take a lesson from my mistake and cut yourself more cord than this, because this, this isn't even a bracelet length. Well, it's maybe a bracelet length at this point, but barely. But assuming that you cut the right amount of cord for this, turning it into a necklace is very, very simple. This is where we're going to access our findings. That's going to be our 2 cord ends, our clasp, and our jump rings. So to apply your cord ends to your cord, you're just going to take your 2 ends of cord. Would you be up for pulling a tray of trunk show stuff?
Yes.
Thank you. You're going to take your 2 ends of your cord and you're going to lay them in your cord end like so. So what I have is I've got my 2 cords and they're sitting in my cord end and they are sitting parallel to each other. I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, those are your flat ones, and so Corvus has been wanting to learn how to use these. So the most important thing when you're using these is you've got to do one side at a time. Okay, people have a tendency to just like kind of go for it and just smash the whole thing, and that invariably is going to wind up with something that's very ugly and probably not very secure. So the proper way to do it is you've got to bend down one side with your pliers like so. So I just folded one side down over my cords. Now I'm gonna fold the other side down over my cords, and for me it's easier if I rotate my work 180 degrees to let me do that. And then after I've got both of those sides neatly folded down, then I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to give it a good smash. And then you can test it by giving it a tug, and it should not come off of your cord. So for anybody who wants a replay of that, lucky for you, we have a second side. So we've got two ends of cord. We're going to put them into this finding, which is called a cord end. And then I'm going to press down one side. Okay, so I smashed one side down, and then I'm going to smash the other side down, and then I'm going to crimp the whole thing. Okay, so seriously, one side, then the other side, then smash the whole thing. It makes more of a difference than you might think. Alright, now I've got my clasp, which is, and I'm going to go ahead and just clasp it together. So I've got a lobster claw and a split ring. Doesn't have to be a lobster claw. And a split ring could be a toggle, could be an S-hook, like whatever clasp you want is going to work pretty much the same way. And then because my lobster claw is closed, okay, there's no opening there, and my cord end is closed, there's no opening in that loop either, you do not need special tools, Corvus. This is one of those things that it's all about the technique. You're going to need two open rings, two jump rings, in order to connect everything together. Now, if you're using jump rings, your best tools to open and close them are going to be two chain nose pliers. I'm going to take my two chain nose pliers, and I'm going to grab with one plier on one side of the opening of the jump ring, and the opening you can kind of see is right there. I'm going to grab with the other plier on the other side, and I'm just going to twist. That's going to make an opening in my jump ring, but it's going to maintain, for the most part, the roundness of your circle. Now I'm going to take my cord end, thread my jump ring through my cord end, thread my clasp onto my jump ring like so, and then I'm going to close it up. And here's the kicker with jump rings, of course, as I've said many times before, you need to make sure you close them so that there's no space in between those two sides. And I'm going to take my second jump ring, repeat for the other side of my closure. So again, two pliers, twist it open, attach to my cord end, attach to the other side of my clasp, which in this case is my split ring, drop that onto my jump ring, and then close it up nice and tight. Ta-da! So with the slight, problem of I really did not make a necklace for a human being here, that is your macrame cabochon necklace technique. So once again, make sure you cut plenty of cord. You need enough to go around your neck, plus enough to go around the cabochon, and a little bit of extra never hurt anybody, as I've demonstrated here today. But thank you all so much for hanging out with us on our Wednesday evening macrame cabochon necklace tutorial here on the Beading Dream stream. We're kicking off our streaming week with this class. I will say, even though I made a necklace for a doll, I still did way better than the last time I tried to teach this tutorial, so I'm still counting this as a win. So I am Allison from Beading Dreams in Dallas, Texas. Of course, most of you know that we are an actual brick and mortar retail bead store. We are here on Lovers Lane in Dallas, and we are here to feed your need to bead 6 days a week. We're here Monday through Saturday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you're not local in Dallas, you can find us on this channel, twitch.tv/beading with a complimentary tutorial 5 times a week. We do stream Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. Thank you, Tracy, so much for joining. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. plus Thursdays at noon. Those are all complimentary tutorial streams, so if you want more tutorial fun, you can join us tomorrow at 12 p.m. with our dainty wire ring. That's going to be our noon tutorial. Thank you. Tomorrow, but you don't have to wait until tomorrow to get more Beading Dreams stream fun. We are going to be back live on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream, in just half an hour with a live merchandise sale featuring brand new merchandise, probably shenanigans, definitely laughter, and lots of fun. So if you're joining us for the sale, That's amazing. Make sure you get properly prepared for your beading sale. That means grab a cocktail, grab some hydration, maybe a snack, get comfy, get cozy, get ready for some retail therapy in the comfort of your living room, office, or wherever you're watching the Beading Dreams stream. If you're not going to join us for the sale, thanks so much for joining us for the tutorial, and hopefully we'll see you on another one really soon. So it's time for me to go get ready for the sale, and I will see you all back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream in half an hour.